the quantity leads to the quality. The more you make, the better you're going to get. Expect to suck, start, and keep going. Be more patient with the results and more impatient with yourself.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Animaker Genius Talk, a talk show where we interview genius minds from the world of videos and transfer some of their amazing knowledge to you. Today we have a very special guest in the house. I'm pleased to present to you successful author, motivational speaker, very successful YouTuber, Evan Carmichael. Welcome to the show, Evan. I'm happy to have you here today.
It's a great way to start it off.
Let me just give you a simple glimpse of how this is going to work today. In this video, we're going to find out from you, Evan Carmichael, how to skyrocket our personal brand using the power of videos. All right?
Sure.
Perfect. Let's get started. We have 3 amazing sections, and the first one is what we call the genius journey. So tell us, Evan, how you went from a 19-year-old entrepreneur to this prolific motivational speaker and very successful YouTuber.
So just by following my curiosity. I did not have this plan when I started. When I sold my business at 22, I started at 19, sold when I was 22. I got asked to speak. I got asked to do a lot of things. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I sold my business. I was a little bit depressed. I didn't know what to do next. I just spent the past 3 years doing this every day, and now I woke up and I had nothing to do. And it's a good problem to have, but I like to stay busy. And so people asked me to come and speak at their events, and I thought, sure, why not? I'll give it a shot. And I said that I took that approach to almost everything just to figure out what I wanted to do next. So that led me to speaking, that led me to making videos. Even my videos were pretty basic at the beginning. It was me doing everything just to test. And so I think what ended up leading to this path and the lesson to learn is, as soon as you get an idea, try it. If you can shortcut the amount of time that you spend going from idea to execution, for some people, that's years. You have an idea and you don't do anything on it for years. Learn to make that happen as soon as possible, and you stumble your way to creating amazing opportunities for yourself.
Wow, that's definitely an inspiration all of us should take. All right, my next question for you is, you emphasize a lot on the power of one word. At Animaker, we believe our one word is creativity. And I know that your one word is believe. So tell us the story behind how you came up with the word believe, and in that process, show our audience how they can find their one word.
So your one word is your most important core value. Every human being, I believe, has a single most important core value. And when you figure that out, it allows you to live your life. And for the entrepreneurs, build a business that is meaningful, that can have an impact. And so I wrote a book on it. It came out of frustration for me when I felt like I felt like I'd be doing more. I think a lot of people feel like they can be doing more in their life. Even if you're a high achiever, there's a lot of people who still feel like I could be doing more. There's another level. And so to access that, I believe it comes down to self-awareness, figuring out what you stand for. And the one word is a process to help you get there. Basically, kind of in a nutshell, you look at what are all the things that have made you happy? What are your favorite movies? What did you love about your parents? Who were your greatest mentors growing up? And if you write those lists of people down and movies and books and songs, and then 3 words that describe them, like why? What is it about that movie that you love? You'll see that the same words start to come up, and there's especially one word that'll keep coming up, and that's the through point. And so the idea is, instead of accidentally stumbling across new people and resources that can serve you, you are now living your life and building a business with intention. And so, for example, if somebody said creativity is something they want more of in their life, the fact that you're out saying creativity is our word, it's what we're all about, it's easy to say, I'm interested in this show. I want to learn more. I want to see what they have on here, because if they're enabling creativity, I love that. I want to be a part of it. And so what it allows you to do is attract people to you who believe the same thing that you believe. But if you don't know what you believe, then you're kind of stuck in the middle, where as soon as you stand for something, you might be upsetting some people, like people who don't like creativity will not be a fan of your show, and you probably wouldn't work well together anyway. And so having that self-awareness allows you to have the rock that you can stand on, that nobody can push you from, where I think most people are standing on quicksand because they don't know what they stand for.
Wow, definitely that's a very valid point. And creativity has helped us garner this amazing million strong community that we have in Animaker today. All right, we've come to the end of section 1. The next section is what we call picking the genius brain. I'm going to throw some questions at you. I'm going to find maximum value from your answers. I'm going to pass on that value to my audience. All right?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's get started. The first question I have for you is, today, we all recognize you through your amazing brand that you've built through your videos. All right. So that leads us to the primary question of this video. How do we skyrocket our personal brand using the power of videos?
So first you have to define what your brand is. What do you stand for? So for me, it's still believe. It still comes down to your one word. And it's not something that your company stands for. It's that you as a human being stands for, and then you bring to your business. So if you don't stand for anything, it's really hard to rally behind you. So you have to figure out what you stand for. Then with video, you have to figure out how you're going to win. And so for me, it's a mix of, I like being on camera. I would much rather, if we're doing an interview here, I would much rather do this via video like this, rather than have me write out answers to questions. And so that fits my style better. I'm more of a visual learner. And so understand the way that you learn best. If you love writing but hate making videos, well, maybe video shouldn't be the path that you go down and follow. You have to love the process of making it. And so for me, I mix a combination of my thoughts, my opinions, my truth with what other people are saying too. And I'll DJ and mix those things together. And it comes from a place of what I felt was missing. So as an entrepreneur myself, I wanted to be around big thinkers. I wanted to be around Elon Musk and Naveen Jain and people who are doing big things, because I don't have an internship with Elon Musk and I can't spend time with him. So this is the next best way to do it. And so nobody had done it. And if you sit and listen to Elon Musk, it might be a 4-hour interview and you get 20 minutes of really good stuff in there. And so I said, I wish somebody had done this. And typical entrepreneur, go out and solve that problem. And so thinking about what is missing, what do you want to see more of? I would still be doing my channel even if nobody consumed it. If everybody hated it, I would still do it for myself because I need the content. It may not be as fancy. I may not have as many editors and all that, but I felt like it was needed in the marketplace. And so what is missing? What is your truth? What is your story? What do you feel is missing from the current videos that are out there? And there's always room for quality. At the top, there's always room for quality. You might say, well, there's so many YouTubers out right now, it's really hard to stand out. If you're good, you can always win. If you're good, you can always win. There's always room for quality. And so figuring out what is it that you bring that is good, that is unique, that is your truth, instead of trying to be a copy of somebody else.
Okay, two very interesting points that I want to continue and discuss during the show. One is, I'm really intrigued that you told me that you really love videos, because I read somewhere that you took 700 shots before you became comfortable in front of the camera. So one, tell us about the journey. And two, if you can share some tips that can take our audience to that 700 shot very quickly, that will be really helpful.
So I think you can love something but not be good at it at the start. You can be, if you're looking at a bunch of creators, you can love how a song is composed or played on the piano, but it doesn't mean that you can go off and do that yet. You can love how somebody took these pictures, but it doesn't mean you could take that same picture yet. And so that was me. I love video. I love consuming video, but I couldn't make it yet. I wasn't good at making it yet. And so I wanted to get better. And I think my path was a lot slower than what other people could do. It took me 750 videos or so before I was impressed by myself, and around 300 something before I wasn't totally embarrassed. Like I would watch my video and just be absolutely embarrassed. 300 plus videos. And so that's just commitment. Like if you really want to get somewhere, expect to be terrible at the beginning. Any creative person, when you first try that art, you're not going to be good at it. You can't just pick up a canvas for the first time and paint a masterpiece. It's going to be brutal. But by repetition and doing it over and over again, you slowly get better. And so that was my take on it. So I loved video. I couldn't make it yet. And so with work, I could get better. The shortcut is model success. So find people who have done it and learn from them. So whoever your favorite creator is, study their story. Not how they create now, but how did they create at the beginning? How did they get started? How did they get their first little bit of traction, momentum? And these are some of the stories that I tell a lot on my channel through the content. But I think seeing somebody who's done it, one, gives you the inspiration that if they could do it, you could do it too. And chances are they started with less than what you already have right now. And it also gives you a path. Like, here is what they did specifically. Here's how much they're practicing. Here's how hard they're working. Here's the next steps that they took. And so if you make a list of the 5 people who you respect and look up to the most in your field and study their stories, that gives you the shortcut to get there faster.
All right, all very valid and inspirational points. The next question that I have for you is, you churn out a lot of content. If I'm right, you churn out almost 3 to 4 videos a day, right? That's amazing. So from your experience, tell us, what is the ideal video frequency that can give you optimum growth in your YouTube channel?
So if you're looking at YouTube specifically, if you can get to daily, it'll make a big difference. At still maintaining the quality, that's the hard part. It's not just pumping out garbage, it's got to be good. But if you drop the quality a little bit, like if you made a video every day at 80% quality versus 1 video a week at 100% quality, you will grow faster with the 80% quality daily videos. So sacrificing quality a little bit, not going down to 50% or 30%, sacrifice quality a little bit for volume, you get better. You get better traction, but you also get better yourself. Like the quantity leads to the quality. The more you make, the better you're gonna get at that thing. And so daily is a good goal. For people watching or listening, they might be saying, well, that's crazy. I can't even do that. I'm making a video every 3 weeks. Okay, just try to double your output. Wherever you're at right now, going daily might be your ultimate goal, but maybe that takes a year to get there. Okay, whatever you're doing right now, just say, how can I double it? If I had to force myself in the next month to double my output, how could I do that? And if you just did that, you'll start to see the growth happen sooner. So right now, that's what YouTube cares about. I mean, yes, they care about quality, but the quantity is a big part of it. And so if you can figure out a way to eventually get to daily, I still saw another jump when I went to 2 a day and 3 times a day. I wish I could go 8 times a day. I don't have enough good content to go 8 times a day. Like it falls below the 80% threshold for me. So I haven't done it yet, but I would love to. The frequency really, really helps, not just for YouTube, but every social media outlet.
Even 3 and 4 is still unbelievable and hard for us to digest, and you're already shooting for the stars with 8 videos a day. That's amazing. All right, the next question that I have for you is, you have covered a lot of content in terms of what we can learn from celebrity entrepreneurs. But as a budding entrepreneur, when I look at those videos, my first impulse is to copy them. If it works for them, it has to work for me, right? So how do I overcome this impulse to copy, and how do I stand out and bring out my style into my videos and eventually into my company?
So I think at the beginning, copying is good. I think as you are, like if you want to play piano, you have to play Mozart. Like you copy his pieces and then you can branch off and do your own thing. I think copying is great. I think, especially at the start, you should copy. Copy everybody. Copy people you look up to. What you're doing, I see it as you're trying on their hat. You're trying on their hat, you're trying on the Evan Carmichael hat, you're trying on the whoever hat, and you see how it feels. Ultimately, you can't copy me or copy somebody else forever, because then you're just a junior version of that person. It's not how you're gonna win. But it can get you to a certain point where then you can start injecting your own uniqueness to it. But that's really hard to do at the beginning. If you sit down and don't know how to play the piano and say, I'm gonna craft a beautiful piece, you could sit there and just smash keys and sure, you have a beautiful, have a unique piece, but it's not beautiful. And so I'm a big fan of copying at the beginning till you get the basics down. It's kind of like you have to know the rules to break the rules. I think it really helps to copy. And then after you've gotten to a certain size and you're feeling like, okay, I'm able to copy this person pretty well. Now I'm ready to go off and do my own thing.
Wow. First, understand the rules before breaking the rules. That's definitely a takeaway that I'd like to take. All right, we've come to the end of section 2. The next section is what we call Inside the Genius Mind. It's going to be a rapid fire section. I'm going to throw some questions at you. You can give me answers quickly without much of thought. All right?
Okay, let's go. Yes, I'm ready.
Let's get started. The first question, your favorite YouTuber apart from yourself?
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Wow, I'm a big Gary Vee fan too. All right,
nice.
You've had multiple videos on Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, right?
Yep.
So which of these tycoons have you covered more and why?
Well, you're asking a why question. That's not rapid fire. Steve Jobs, because he had more to say.
One message that you have for the Animaker community who are watching this video today?
Expect to suck, start, and keep going. The perseverance makes a difference.
Wow, that's a great message. And as a personal fan, I really like your story that you tell every time. The Seabiscuit is your favorite film and how it inspired you. Tell our audience how they can find their story from their life. They go through a lot of experiences, but how can they pinpoint that one story that can become their brand and take their brand to their audience effectively?
So, I mean, my book goes through that in a lot of detail, helping ask you questions, but I'd look at things like, what is your favorite movie? Like, what movie could you watch 30, 40 times and still like it? Who was your favorite teacher growing up? You know, you've had hundreds of teachers through school and university, but one or two of them stand out. Why? It's not because they taught you grade 8 math. It's because there's something about that person that really connects with you. And so you find that your favorite teacher, your favorite movie, your favorite song, what you loved about your parents, there's a connective tissue, there's a common theme. And you'll find multiple stories. Like Seabiscuit is my movie story, but that theme of believe plays out in multiple different stories. And so having the awareness by looking back allows you to create a better life going forward.
All right. That's an inspiration that I'd like to take. My next question for you, and the final question for the show, is what are 3 motivational tips for YouTubers to stay consistent on YouTube?
So 3 tips. I would start with, remember why you're doing this. There has to be a why behind it. If it's just because you want to try to make a lot of money, or just because you want to be YouTube famous, you're probably not going to make it. It's just too difficult. That's like everything. Any entrepreneurial venture, you have to have a strong reason behind why you're doing it. 2, you have to actually like the process. So it's great that I have 1.5 million subscribers and I get the buttons and the accolades and the gigs and the awards and all that stuff, but I like making videos. Like, I like the process. I still like the process. I still touch every video before it goes live. Like, I like it. So you have to like the process of doing it. And then I would say, be more patient with the results and more impatient with yourself. I think people flip it. I think people are very patient with themselves. Like, I could do that tomorrow. I could put that off till next week. You're very patient. You let yourself off the hook, but you're very impatient with the results. Like, hey, how come it didn't work? Where's my results? Where are my 1 million views? How come it didn't work? Where I want you to flip it. I want you to be patient with the results. If you keep putting in the hard work, you will get the results, but impatient with yourself. Like, today has to matter. Like, this interview has to count. I'm trying to bring my best into everything that I do and put massive pressure on myself that this matters right now. I'm very impatient, because you are always one video away, one interview away, one shot away from making a big break. And if you treat life that way, you will get there. And if you give yourself all the time in the world and be patient with yourself, you'll never hit your goals.
That is amazing motivation, and I like to leave the audience with that motivational tips for this show. All right, Evan, thank you so much for spending your time with us today. I hope you enjoyed the session as much as we enjoyed learning from you.
I love it, man. Keep spreading creativity.
Thank you so much. And guys, if you really enjoyed the show, go ahead and click on the like button. And if you want to see more of Animaker Genius Talk, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and the bell icon. And if you want to see your favorite influencers featured on this show, go ahead and comment below and we'll make sure to get them for the future episodes. Until then, take care and stay safe. This is Arvind from Team Animaker signing off.